Hi, my name is Sylvia and I'm a planner addict. Hi, Sylvia. Okay, so people ask me all the time, what's your favorite planner? You have to have one, right? You've tried them. The truth is, I love them all for different reasons. And if there's a planner I really don't love, I let you know, which really hasn't happened, I don't think. I mean, I might get annoyed with it, but I don't think I've ever flat out hated any planner. I don't think. Anyway, so this video is going to be about what my #1 pick for 2019 as far as all of the planners I had. And I had Hobonichis this year. I had a bullet journal. I had a Jibun Techo. I had a traveler's notebook. I think I had a couple of other ones. I'm going to do a planner graveyard part 2 coming up so that you can see all the different planners and all of the different inserts that I used this year and why they worked for me and why they didn't, why I abandoned them and why I kept them, and also why I kept coming back to them because I think that's important too. Okay, so for me, the answer is the Jibun Techo, which I had to dig out because I've decided recently that I think I'm going to buy one. And so I'm probably going to post on my Instagram a couple of questions for you guys, like if you think I should do a Jibun Techo for 2020 and if I should do an A5 or a B6 Slim. Cool. All right, so I'm going to put these off to the side. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick overview of the Jibun Techo in case you have not seen this planner before or any of my previous videos, which I will try to link down below. All right, so this is the Jibun Techo cover. It is like a canvas cover. This is in the A5 Slim. It is from Japan, but you can buy it here in the US, like on Amazon, as well as Tokyo Pen Shop, which I think you have to have like $35 or more. It's free shipping in the US. And then Jet Pens, which is $25 or more, free shipping in the US. This planner is a little bit pricey. I'm not going to lie to you. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think the cover was like around $30-ish to $40. You don't need the cover. It was just something that I decided to buy. It has a zipper at the top that goes down and it closes awkwardly. And I was like, why is mine broken? This is so that your strings can hang out and you won't zip them up, which does become a problem. I've totally done it before. So that's kind of a nice detail. So don't freak out like I did when you get this, wondering why. I always cut off the strings in pretty much any one of my planners, or I tuck them behind. So it's never an issue anymore for me. There is a full-length back pocket like this, which is nice. On the inside, you get one pocket here. This is really to tuck the cover in, and then a second one here. Again, this one back here, full length pocket, is to tuck the cover in. And they get 1, 2, 3 little card pockets, and then this one that's kind of an awkward shape because they wanted to make these even and have an extra one, I guess. I don't know. And then this is a weird pen loop at first. I was expecting for it to extend a little. It does not, but it can hold a very big pen. So this is my favorite pen right now. Sarasa Dry. Has a huge grip on it, and it certainly can fit right in there. No worries. If not, you can always use, like this one has like a clip where you can clip it that way also. So the Jibun Techo comes in 2 sizes, A5, which this one is. So A5, this is a Leuchtturm notebook in A5. This has a cover on it, so it's hard to tell. It's only a little bit taller because the cover is taller than the actual notebook. And then it's slimmer. That's where it gets its name from, so it's not as wide. It also comes in B6 Slim. I do not have the B6 Slim version. This is my B6 Slim Sojourner notebook. Let me take the B6 Slim notebook out of it, actually. Again, this is a little bit wider because of the cover, but that's kind of roughly the difference in size. They also refer to the B6 Slim as the Mini. So if you hear of the Mini, that's what they're talking about. So it has a PU leather, which is just like a plastic cover that it comes with, and a pocket in the front. You can get a clear cover for this. And there's also something called the Original, and the Original has like a, I don't know, it's like a writing board with a closure. So if that's something that you want, you can do so. It also comes with a life book and an idea book in the Original. So it's like a full kit, whereas this you buy individually, you do not get these 2 things with it. On the inside, you get 3 card pockets. And then in the back, you get like, this is somewhat of a card pocket. I'd say more of a business pocket. And then you get this annoying pen loop that nobody ever uses. So that's why it's flat. And I just use the one that's in here, or I use a pencil case. Now, it also comes in two different styles. It comes in what people refer to as the original and the biz version. So the biz version comes with Mio paper, and that is more gel friendly. The other one comes with Tomoe River paper, which is beautiful. It's bubbly thin. But if you love gel pens, gel pen just kind of sits on it and takes forever to dry. I don't know if Sarasa has or is a hybrid of ballpoint pen and gel pen, but these are the fast drying ones, so I really love them. They work pretty much in every planner I've ever had. Also, there's a difference in the color scheme between the original and the biz version. This one is more monochromed, whereas the original has a lot of color, and it has more of like a robotic type of text, which I don't particularly care for. So in any Japanese planner, you'll usually find that Sunday is in red. This one happens to have Saturday in blue, but for the most part, it's very gray scale. On the inside, you get a tracker for each month, and it's a 2-page spread. And then you get a monthly, also a 2-page spread, and a weekly in a 2-page spread. Now, the Jibun Techo is meant to be used kind of like a system. So here you have your entire planner, but then you can order accessories like the life book, where you can write, you know, stuff about your family. I never filled mine out. I bought it just to try it and never got around to it. It also has anniversaries and birthdays you can put in here of all of your family and friends, and a bunch of other stuff in here, which is kind of cool. This is information that you probably want to keep all in one place and, you know, just leave at your house and not carry with you. But if you wanted to, you can certainly put it inside here. And then you get these idea notebooks, and they're just grid, and they have a place where you can write numbers or you can color code. They have a line on them, and I assume that this is sort of kind of like the Cornell style of taking notes. I don't know if that's true or not, and I'm sure that we stole it from, you know, Asian culture, because we usually do. But the Cornell type of notes is like where you write all of your notes here, and then off to the left-hand side, you're going to write summaries of everything that you wrote in this big block. So you can see what's here off to the side a little bit quicker. I'm not a fan of this because, again, this is the Tomoe River paper. It's bubbly thin. It's beautiful paper, especially if you want a watercolor. If you want to use fountain pens, it will hold a lot of mediums. It will show a ton of ghosting, but it won't bleed through for the most part. But again, the way that pen reacts on this, especially gel pen, this might not be one. Let me try this one. Okay. Is just, it takes too long to dry, and it's going to drive me crazy. If you wait a couple of seconds, sometimes it's okay. If you're using one of those fast drying pens, see how this one works a little better because it is the fast drying pen. I highly recommend this, especially for people who are left-handed. My niece and nephew are left-handed, so if you dry your hand, some people don't. But if you do, this is really great because it is fast drying. The other thing I do not love about this insert that you can purchase for here is the fact that the grid is so very small. I have large handwriting. This is, I think, a little bit smaller than 4mm, whereas in the US it's 5mm. So the grid is tiny, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. Now, most people can just take up 2 lines instead of 1. I don't know why I have these problems. Also, some people can just write across this line, no problem. I can't always, I have a mental block sometimes about things like that, and I just can't do it. So I tend to only use like this part, and then this stays empty. But you can also put washi or whatever, because it is thin paper. See how it kind of bulks up when you add stuff, because I was adding like these headers here. It'll stay relatively thin still, just because the paper is so nice. So the way this works is, if you wanted to carry your life notebook, and most people won't, so let's just pretend this is another blank idea notebook like this one. You can tuck it into the front of the cover. So let's say this is going to be your journal. And in the back, you can tuck in another, and we'll say that this one is like your idea notebook, right? This is where you do all your brainstorming and you're planning out things. We tuck it back here. So you have your notebooks and your planner, your monthly and your weeks, all in one place. And you can carry this with you wherever you go. No worries. I love that. This is definitely like a traveler's notebook. Same premise, right? You have these strings and you have your notebooks in here. And when one notebook fills up, you can take it out and replace it with another one. Same thing in here. When you're done with this journal, you can take it out and replace it with another. That makes me crazy happy. I love it. It's a nice little system. I think this is all that somebody needs if you're someone who wants to try out planning and journaling all in the same place. Somebody who has several projects, you can always make this a project for your writing and this a project for, something else like your YouTube. So inside here, you have a lot of Japanese. They explain things in Japanese, right? I obviously don't read Japanese, so I have been using sticky notes like this, and I have them on a bunch of different pages because there's like these beginning pages where they explain a bunch of stuff, and I personally just use them like this might be for passwords for 2019 because I always open a new account in something. And so I write down my passwords in here so that I can always find them, and it's usually like in code so that if I ever lost this or it was open, nobody would know what the hell it is. I also put like specific emails or phone numbers for people that I need to find quickly. I always have my phone with me, but I feel like I always refer to it in my planner for some reason more than I do in my phone. Then you get your year at a glance, and they usually give you the year before as well as the year after. This is always really nice because if you wanted to, you could use these for tracking things. So let's say that we are in January and you wanted to write here. This has a little thing on it. But you wanted to write here like arms, and you wanted to do arm exercises every single day. You could mark off that you did that. And you could do a different one for the next month or whatever. If you decided this is not something you want to use, like for instance, it's 2019. And they have one for 2018. A lot of people might not find this useful, but you go ahead and write down things that you wanted to track, like your arms, legs, any kind of exercises. You could put writing here or poetry and mark down every single day that you did poetry for a month. It doesn't have to be in June. These don't have to match up. It just has a counter of 30 days. Do you savvy what I'm saying? So that is kind of awesome. And I've done that before, just not specifically in this planner because I kept going in and out. And then they give you this, which again, I didn't use because I had one of these, like I think in almost every planner that I bought this year, because I also did the Traveler's Company inserts and they both have one, and I had 3 of them, including a passport size. So yeah. But you can go ahead and put your weight if you want to track your weight here every single day. Most people don't weigh themselves every day. It just depends on, what you're doing, but you could do it at the end of each week for every single month. You could track your savings account or your checking account every time you deposit something for every single month, for every single week, or just every single paycheck. Then you have other stuff like this, like an age chart. This is like something that's pretty big in Japan. I don't personally use it, but I think it's kind of cool. My dreams. So you can go ahead and write down like what your dreams are for each month or throughout the year. I didn't use any of this stuff. Again, they have one specifically here for money planning. Obviously, I'm amazing at that. And then this is really great. This makes me really happy. They give you a free 2-page weekly spread. And this is just so that you can kind of plan out and see what it would be like. So here's how it looks when it's dated. This is undated. I wish they would make one like this because I would totally buy that too. But so this is how it looks when it's dated. This is how it looks when it's undated. So this allows you to go ahead and try this out, your system, to see how you would plan before you actually use it. The best thing I love about this planner, honestly, is that it goes from 12 to 12. So if you're someone who doesn't work a 9-to-5 job, if you work nights sometimes, this planner has you covered. A lot of times you get planners that are going by hours and they'll start like at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. And it's like, what about those people that work at 5:30 in the morning? Do you know what I mean? What about those people that work until 11:30 or 12? That doesn't always cover it, but this one does, which is kind of awesome, and I love it. And of course, we get a map of Japan because that's the country it's made in. Other things here. book list, movie list, gifts, promise list. Okay, and then we get into the tracker. And there's a couple of different ways that I like to use the tracker. So the first thing is, again, Saturdays are in blue and Sundays are in red. So if you cannot read, obviously most of us can in Japanese here in the US. If you can, you're awesome. You just know that Sunday is in red, so Monday follows after. So I know right away that this is Monday, this is Monday, this is Monday. Savvy? If that bothers you to no end, you can just put an M at the top every time there's a Monday, and that way you know where your week starts. Or you can go ahead and put a little, letter for everything, if that helps you also. But for the most part, this just helps me find my Monday. I don't need to worry about it. Sometimes you'll have something like this where there's a bunch of holidays, because holidays will also be marked in red where you might run into an issue. But again, that's the sign for Monday, so I know this is Monday. So over here you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different spots to track something. But you can take 14 and times it by 2 and get 28. Because if you look closely, you'll see that each one of these, even though I'm counting it as a line, has 2. So if you want to write very small, which I never do, you can have twice as many. Most people probably wouldn't want to use this line or this line, but I do. You just, like, let's say you wanted to track reading up here. Then you can just mark off when you read. No problems. Same here. You can put writing. The worst handwriting ever. I'm a typer, whatever. Like that. Do you savvy what I'm saying? So this is awesome. I highly recommend. Love this planner. Now, for those of you who are like, I can't really track things like cleaning and stuff. So this was the point when I was trying to track stuff and it wasn't working out for me. I mean, I just get bored. I forget things, or I move out of the planner into something else. That happened. Over here, I decided to put all of the books I was reading. I think I divided them in between audiobooks and physical books. So for the audiobooks, I was going by hours, like Game of Thrones was a lot. This one only had 7.5 hours. And so I was marking it like that because I couldn't be bothered to track things normally. So that's another way you can use it. It's very versatile. There's no wrong way to do it. In the monthly, there's so many different things you can do. So off to the side here, you can put your, all of your tasks that you want to get done for the month of November off to the side here. And then you can pull from these tasks and put them on the days that you think you can accomplish them. They also have these mood trackers here. So you have a smiley face, a meh, and then a sad one. That's helpful if you want to track something. Like if you have depression and you want to kind of know about your mood, that's a good way to do it. I also use these boxes as well. We're in this month. Let me show you one that we're not in, where you can cross off things. So you can just cross off the days as they happen, or you can choose to use these boxes to track something else. Like for instance, let's say that you're on a medication that you take for anxiety or depression, and you just want to know how many times a month you felt the need that you had to use it. And it's not very often, but you want to know when. You could certainly just use this so you know what days you used it. Also down here, you get the month before, the month of, and the month after. I use these a lot of times for tracking things. Like back in the day, let's see, these were projects and I didn't work on them very often, but if I found some time, I would totally mark the last time that I did them. Like that. And the boxes do continue over here down to the bottom. So you have plenty of space to write things. You could certainly make a grocery list here for the month if that's something you wanted to do also. If you're working on a specific project, like you could say novel right here. You could write down all the different pieces of that novel that you wanted to work on in this month, and then again, delegate them to a certain day. So now we go to the weekly, and this is all time sensitive. So you can block things off. You can block it off with a pen, or you can use a highlighter. So let's say that you got ready for the day and it took you from 7 to 8:30, especially if you're a girl and you do your hair and put on your face. Okay. And you can just block this off like that, and you can write whatever you want there so you know what you did during that time. So right now we're in November and it's NaNoWriMo which is National Novel Writing Month, where you write 1,667 words every single day to try to get 50,000 words in 1 month. And there are a lot of live streams where you can go and write with other people online on YouTube as well as Instagram. So you can come here and you can say, okay, there's a live stream from here to here that I want to catch today. And then you can mark it off. And then you can write over it in pen. And then I put at Evie because maybe Evie Redding, who I enjoy, is doing a live stream during this time. So that allows me to see that Evie's doing this. So if I'm busy throughout the day, I'm going to try to do my writing during this time. So I have someone to write with, which will motivate me to actually do the work that I need to do. If you're someone who works and you don't have, like maybe you're part-time, so you don't have a set schedule and it's always a little bit different, it's nice to have something like this so that you can see that. So let's say that you're working from, 6 in the morning until 2 in the evening. You can block time off like that. And then of course you can write in anything you want here. And that just allows you to see your schedule. Also, if you're trying something new, like let's say in 2020, you want to start a YouTube channel and you want to kind of get some idea about how long it takes for you to film a video, to edit, to upload and all of that jazz. A lot of times I don't do that all at once. I usually do something like I'll film one day and then the next day I will edit, and then the day after that or later in the evening I will upload because I have crappy internet, and so it works better when everyone is sleeping and it's nighttime because people are not using the internet, stuff like that. So you can go ahead and start blocking off how much time you've been doing it so that you can calculate how many hours you're actually spending on YouTube. So this was the first week that I was able to use in this planner, I think. Yeah. And it was like, bam. I used color to block off time. I used lines. I also colored in. I also learned that my mild liners were angry in here, which are these guys. Not all of them, but this particular one was angry. These are, Japanese highlighters that I love, but regular highlighters will work perfectly fine in here. I used pen. I decided to block off time like this. I used little squares for tasks that I got done or wanted to do throughout the day. I used little circles also. I was trying out all kinds of things. At the bottom here, it also has mood trackers for the day, so you could track that with something different. And it was great. I loved it. I wrote over here stuff that I did. I even did like a little bit of a habit tracker here. Now, I couldn't write like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever, but I wanted to know how many times this week I filmed, and it was 2. And I did edits twice, and then I used handbrake twice, uploaded twice, and posted twice, obviously, because I made 2 videos. But that just lets me see. Laundry was the same, and dishes. So I had to wash dishes 3 times this week. This was personal stuff for projects that I was doing. That worked out really well for me. Then I changed it up because sometimes hours don't work for me. I don't have a 9-to-5 job. And so I didn't really have a lot of hourly things I needed to block off. So I decided to go ahead and block this off into sections. And this is sort of like, what are those planners called? I think they're like teaching calendars or teaching planners, where down to the side, they'll have like period 1 or class 1 or class 2 or class 3, so that you can go ahead and write down a plan for each day of the week that you're going to be doing. I like that style, so that's what I went ahead and I did here. So I did health down here, YouTube, appointments, Brett Kids / Instagram, cleaning, and then it said books and movies. So across here, I could see this project, right? Which I said was Instagram and the kids. And I wrote down anything that I did for them there. And then here was all of my appointments in a different color, because again, I color coded them. Then across here, this was YouTube. So I wrote that I filmed here, and I began the edits, more editing the next day because I try to break it up. Over here, I finished edits, I published and uploaded, did the thumbnail, new video was done. Then over here, I checked the comments. So that sort of allows me to see how I break down a video or several videos throughout the week. Up at the top here, there's this like section, let me show you. And it has like the weather and stuff, and this is the phases of the moon. I like to put like one major task there. So like up here at the top, we had a game basketball game here. There was no rehearsal because at the time I was helping my niece with her high school play because I love being a stage manager. I like to be in control. Then we had dress rehearsal. So this was like the major thing of the day that I could not miss. Usually I will put here sometimes like early release because Wednesday is when my niece and nephew get out early. And that's important for my niece who's in 4th grade because they usually give her all of her homework on Wednesday and then it's due like the next Wednesday. So this is the day we have the most time together to get a lot of it done. Then I usually mark Friday because that's trash day in a different color so that I know, hey, you got to put out the trash or you're going to have to keep it, you know, in your house for an entire week. So that's important to me. Or I would write something like today is a library day. So a lot of times, like if I had a dentist appointment, I'd put it up here so that I would see that right away, but I'd also like block off time or schedule it throughout. Do you know what I mean? But that's like my main thing of the day, which I really loved about this planner. I also like taking things like, I started out heavy in color coding, y'all. I really loved it. I don't know what happened, but over here to the side, like I will put major projects and sometimes I like to take that project and then break it down throughout the week. So like say you're writing a novel, I might write that here and that I'm doing projects, but there might be other things I need to do for that chapter, like anything that I need to look up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, writing about the state of, you know, Iowa. I don't know anything about Iowa. I could write down that I need to schedule some time to do some research or something here this week. And then I would put it here probably on a Sunday, which is library day, if that makes sense. And I did that for a while and I really loved it. And that's because like for me, September, October, November, December, when the kids go back to school and my sister's working a lot, sometimes she'll work until 2 in the morning because she does, you know, a couple different jobs. I have them. So they're spending the night, I'm cooking them dinner, or I'm helping them with their homework, or I'm taking them to activities because she can't. So I get really busy during this time of year, whereas, you know, April throughout the summer, I don't have a lot of things to write down. So something like this is really important. Now that I'm doing more projects, more collabs, more YouTube, sometimes I like doodle in here because there's empty space, or I'll put washi tape because I didn't do anything, and that's fine too. And then I go back to being crazy and I try out things like this, and that's fine. Sorry, I got off topic. What was I saying? When I get really busy, I need structure like this. When I am not as busy, a traveler's notebook is perfectly fine. All I need is really like a monthly to put a couple of appointments down. But this time of year, I get really busy. So now that I'm doing more collabs with people in the planner community, as well as in the AuthorTube community, and we're having stuff like NaNoWriMo, where there's all these live streams happening of my friends and I want to catch them if I can, I need more structure. I need more places to write things down. Now, some days I don't even plan shit. I'm not going to lie. Some weeks I'm just recording what's happened, right? I'm not even planning things. I'm just going back into the day and I'm writing down, okay, this is what I did here and here and here, just so I have that, so that when I go back and I'm trying to look at habit tracking, right? Like, what are my habits? I can see, okay, this is when I write the most, or this is when I film the most, or whatever. That helps me out in that way. So don't feel like you always have to plan ahead. Sometimes it's just you're recording things. So for instance, I will use my monthly like this for like what I hope will happen, and I will plan the crap out of my month. And then my weekly usually reflects what actually does happen, because I won't make it to all of those things, but I can always look back and say, okay, this is what I actually did get done, even though this is what I hoped would get done. Does that make sense? I hope so. Anyway, so for all of those reasons, including the fact that you can carry a journal or like a project insert or an idea notebook all in one place, along with a monthly and a weekly, makes me happy. Because you can carry these inserts in here, you really honestly don't need to have dailies, right? Because you can just write down November 10th. So So you can just write that, and underneath you can write what day of the week it is and just move on with your life. And these can be your dailies. So this is just grid. So this is a 5 and this is like, I think less than 4 millimeter. It's a huge difference in my opinion. So you can buy something like this. This is a Moleskine. You can get them in a pack of 3 off of Amazon for about 12 bucks. They last for a long time. I love them. Or the reason why I have this guy is you can go ahead and tuck it in like this, like that. And then this guy tucks in the back of here. And then you can have a notebook that's a different brand here, or a notebook here. You can certainly carry another one over here. So you can have a notebook here, your whole schedule, and then one of these guys in the back here. And then you can have another one out here if you wish. And if you don't like writing on a hump, because some people don't like writing on a hump, it's not too bad. You can always just take this out and write on your desk and then put it back in. So no worries. I love this thing. It doesn't matter whether you're doing dailies, whether you're doing weekly or monthly, or a combination of all 3. This planner does it all. And that is why I choose the Jibun Techo as my favorite planner and the planner I recommend to everyone. All right, my name is Sylvia. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.